welcome to Break On Through, the podcast where we talk to musicians of all kinds. And today I am joined by Joey B. How you doing, man?
Yes, sir. I'm doing well. How about yourself, Steve? Thanks for having me, by the way.
Not doing too bad. Yeah, I'm glad to have you. We didn't really know each other. We kind of found each other on Twitter. It seems to be like a great meeting place for everybody these days. I haven't even been on that long, and I've met a lot of awesome people.
Yeah, I think in the podcasting community, it's the best place for sure.
100%.
That and Reddit.
I haven't ventured into Reddit.
Yeah, it's an interesting place, Reddit, and
So I hear.
some of the subreddits are better than others, better quality. But yeah, no, I agree with you. Twitter is definitely the spot.
Yeah, it's the spot.
It's such a community. Everyone's kind of pulling for each other, liking each other, following. So it's pretty awesome.
Absolutely, especially in like the indie podcast kind of nation here, I guess we'll call it. Everybody just seems to have each other's backs, and
Yeah.
it's really great. I've met a lot of what I would consider really good friends at this point because of Twitter. I don't know. I really like Twitter. I came over when Facebook crashed. And I was like praying it was going to stay down, but it didn't.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you there.
So before we get into everything, tell me about your podcast. What do you do on your podcast?
Sure. Yeah. So basically I started a company which is also a collective. It's called Blind Knowledge.
Okay.
You can check us out at blindknowledge.com. And various different social media, but go to blindknowledge.com. You can start there.
Okay.
The company is based on digital content creation. It's based on podcasting, and it's based on live streaming. And what we aim to do is we aim to bring together independent podcasters, digital content creators, and also live streamers into one place. Where we can all mutually benefit from larger audience reach. And we can also work together. So that collective style where maybe a podcast isn't so good on their audio, but they have great presentation, or, maybe we have a great writer, but we need to work on the presentation, or even segments, or finding guests, or, how to do a promo, a cross promotion. So we encompass all of that. We incorporate all that into the collective idea. And then what I do on my end, not only am I a podcaster, I do a show called Knowledge This Degree.
Okay.
I look to promote, produce, and present. So any way we can do that, we do it. And, we're taking a chance and swinging for the fences. So
you kind of like, are you like a network? Would you say is that your network?
Yeah. I think podcast networks, they get a bad rap. And I understand why, because I've been a part of a couple, and I've seen what works and what doesn't, and I wouldn't call us a network, but you can if you want. I call us a step above. We're a platform. We're going bigger. Eventually I'd like to have musicians and also artists on here too, vloggers even. So we're going to see where it takes us. We're brand new. We don't even launch until January 31st.
Okay, wow.
But definitely check us out, blindknowledge.com, and I will stop promoting myself now.
No, hey, this is what this is all about. I created this podcast for people to come on and talk about themselves, not just musically, but I mean, if you have other stuff, that's what I want. I want people to know who you are. I want people to reach out to you, look up your services. But yeah, it sounds like the sky's the limit. It sounds like you can go anywhere with this.
You never know. Yeah, it's a certain niche that I'm going for too. I have extensive experience not only as a musician, which I'm sure we will tackle.
Yes. We'll be talking about
this. Oh yeah, hell yeah. But also I have a lot of broadcasting experience. I started in college radio, went over to internet radio when that was the hot ticket, and then over to podcasting. I've produced, I've hosted, I've done interviews. I interviewed George Clinton. Dr.
Wow, Mr. Funkadelic.
Yeah, man, that was a fun one. I interviewed Seether. I was on the Seether tour bus up in Boston at the House of Blues.
Hey, hometown.
David Keckner from Anchorman 1 and 2. He was Chip. Whammy.
Oh, yeah, I know who you're talking about.
So I have that experience of just, being in the right place at the right time, I guess you could say. But I also kill switch engage.
No shit.
Yeah,
Oh
man,
man,
that was fucking awesome because I'm a
dude,
huge Kill Switch fan.
that's awesome, man.
Pretty cool, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, man, I got the right person on today. Holy shit.
Yeah, but Steve, I got burnt out, man. These podcast networks, they could burn you out. They give you a lot of false promises, and that's not my style. I'm just trying to collect and get together the best raw talent we can so that we can all, exponentially grow together. And for me, I'm going to focus on my podcast too, Knowledge This Degree. That's going to be it's a spotlight show, a flagship show for blind knowledge. Not only will we talk about blind knowledge and what it is, and we're going to interview podcasters on the network. We're going to do the behind the podcast thing, kind of
Nice.
like behind the music back in
Yeah,
the
yeah, I
day.
like that.
Yeah, behind the podcast. But I'm also going to interview people. I got 6 lined up for the next 2-3 weeks. I got comedians,
Amazing.
musicians, and a wild man from Australia, just a snake wrangler,
Oh my
dangerous
god.
animal, dangerous animal guy. Yeah, he's on Nat Geo over in Australia.
Wow, man.
So just an array of people, characters, and real question and answer. But just to wrap on that, blind knowledge. The deal is, I want talent and creators that are not only passionate, but there's two things you got to be, and this is the only requirements I have. Is basically the content has to be informative in some way. It
Okay.
has to make you think, kinda. Whether it's through firsthand experience, whether it's through research, maybe it's just giving multiple perspectives and having a debate. Whatever it is, I need that. It's blind knowledge because it's information that's blind to us. It's in the dark. And I want to illuminate that. I want to bring information to the forefront, but not just information, truthful information. And there's a whole broad thing I could do, but blindknowledge.com, you can see more on there. But it has to be two things, man: informative and entertaining. That's all I want. That's all I want. Just be passionate, positive, and informative and entertaining. And, who knows?
Amazing. Hey, listen, I don't even know what you just sold me, but I'm ready to buy it right now.
Yeah.
Um,
We'll have to chat for
listen,
sure.
I mean, you really you have a passion for it. I can tell just by looking at you talk about this. It
Yeah.
seems very deep within you. This seems like something you really love doing. So that's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, you sold it
Thank you.
super well, super well.
Someone's got to do it.
Yeah.
With COVID and things happening in the world, it's you make decisions and you figure out what you want to do and who you want to be.
Crazy times.
We go through ups and downs as people. Things happen. We learn as we go and we grow. And I figured, why the hell not? Let's
Yeah.
do it. And if it fails, it fails. Whatever. At least we tried. You know what I mean?
Well, for sure. I mean, I think COVID has brought upon it's really brought out the creativity in a lot of people. You've noticed there's a boom in just about everything you can find now, especially content creation. There's
Oh, it's huge.
so much now, so much, and I
It's
mean,
huge.
for the most part, it's great. It is. I mean, you've got some that they kind of fizzle out and go, but
Mm.
I really think it forced people into finding the creativity within themselves they might not have known that they had. And
Yeah,
the
that's a
rest
good
of
point.
us, were rewarded with awesome stuff to watch because we've all been stuck in the house.
Right?
For the most
Yeah.
part, we've all been stuck at home. I mean, I still work full time through the pandemic, but other than that, I'm at home. So I took up podcasting. I play guitar. I'm probably nowhere near as good as you, but
Oh, we'll find out.
uh,
I'm sure you're pretty good.
but podcasting was something I was always interested in, and the pandemic really gave me the opportunity to do it. Now I have another
Yeah.
podcast too with my wife, so we're doing two, and it's just the more I seem to submerge myself in it, the more I seem to like it.
Oh,
So
it's so fun.
gonna keep it
So
around.
fun. It's yeah, man, you should. I mean, you have a great voice. You have a great
Oh, thank you.
presentation. I can tell already.
Appreciate that.
You have a great beard,
Oh,
and I am envious of that. But yeah, man, it's just about having fun, and it's such a great release of energy. And
absolutely.
yeah, just the stars align sometimes.
Absolutely. Well, I'd like to get into. I want to start talking about your musical journey, if you will. Tell me about when you were young. How did this all start for you? What kind of piqued your interest? The question I like to ask people is, when was the first time you heard music that you felt was your music? Maybe not necessarily the stuff your parents were listening to, but the first time music really spoke to you.
15 years old. Well, actually, let's backtrack. My first concert was a Beach Boys concert. And at the time, it was pretty obscure because no one was really talking about how much of a genius Brian Wilson is. Sloop John B is still one of my favorite songs. So that was my first concert. That was my first like introduction to live music, which I think is so important. Um, from there, skip forward until I was 15, and I heard Guns N' Roses' "Sweet Child of Mine" for the
Wow.
first time. And
That band and that album seems to get a lot of notoriety when I ask people this question on the show. Uh, Appetite for Destruction, Guns N' Roses, in general, seems to almost be the number one answer.
yeah, man, they're so influential, especially back then. So I was 15, so that's about 20 years ago. 35 now,
Mm.
and I'm trying to think. So it's basically early 2000s. And it's between that period where Guns N' Roses, they were hot. They were the
Mm.
fucking shit
I
from
remember.
86 until like 92 until they had all their
Mm.
issues. And then they were kind of just like obscure. And then, recently they've heated up and they're doing stadium tours and they got their shit back together and decided to stop being selfish and entertain again and get paid too.
Yeah, I was right.
I'm sure Axel had some bills, but
Well, he didn't do a whole lot of big stuff for a while, so I'm sure the money was very
right.
welcomed.
Yeah, I'm sure. Oh, I'm sure. And they were just they had already made their mark. I mean, what more did they have to do? They didn't have
Yeah.
to do anything more. But for me, I grew up, of course, listening to what my parents listened to, what my friends would listen to, what I would find on like Napster and
No, Napster.
Kazaa.
Wow, throwback.
Lot. Yeah, man, we're going way back. AIM, instant messenger, away messages, lyrics, kind of thing.
What is it? What was it? ASL? Was that what it was? Yeah, ASL. Where you go into the
ASL.
chat rooms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So at 15, that was actually the first time that I had heard that song, Sweet Child of Mine. Or, maybe I had heard it in passing, but it was the first time it stuck.
Mm.
I can say that with 100% confidence. And I just was listening to it and I was like, how the hell is this guy playing that? Because every time I listened to it, I get goosebumps. Like I would feel it and I'd be like, damn, I want to do that. How the hell is he doing it? And I would just rewind it and rewind it and rewind it. And I'd be like, how's he doing it? And this is at 15 and it's Slash. I mean, shit, it's Slash,
Yeah,
and
iconic.
even today yeah, man, rock legend.
Well, for sure.
And even today, it's an insane solo to even attempt. I still have trouble with it. I can play a little bit, but not the whole thing. But yeah, just getting that feeling, those goosebumps, that feeling is like, I want that. I want to know how to do that. I want to know about it, and I want to be a part of it, kind of thing. And yeah, that's when I started playing guitar. That's when I started going. I did lessons for about 6 months.
Yeah. So you
Started
started
right
playing
then.
right around about 15. You started playing guitar.
Yeah, 15 and a half. Yeah, around there.
So would you say you cite pretty much Slash as being your guitar hero?
For sure.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
So let me ask you, like, when you decided you were like, I got to play guitar, did you instantly think, I have to get that guitar, the Les Paul, the Holy Grail?
Of course. Of
Like,
course.
what did you
Yeah,
get? Let me
man.
have. What did you get?
Well, I didn't get that. I come from humble upbringings.
Yeah, me too.
Um, yeah, it wasn't a Les Paul. I had a poster of the Gibson SGs on my wall, but
Yeah.
that wasn't that. My first guitar was a Slammer